This is the Canon Rebel T7i, and I personally think it is the greatest camera that any beginner YouTuber, social media content creator can get. Even though this is an 8-year-old camera, I still believe that this is a great entry-level camera, high-quality entry-level camera if you're looking for DSLRs that have interchangeable lenses like such, so you can get a little bit more of an upgrade over your iPhone. This is the camera that everybody should be buying. Now, Canon does have one that doesn't have the flip-out screen and doesn't record in 60 frames per second, and that is the Canon T7. This is the Canon Ti. I think the truly only difference that are noticeable, especially for folks who are looking to upgrade their social media game, is the fact that the 7T doesn't have the flip-out screen. It just has the screen on the back, and it doesn't record at 60 frames per second. So if that is not of a concern for you, definitely check out getting the Canon T7. They still make the Canon T7 like a B&H and Amazon.com. They still have those. They'll be linked down in the description below. But if you do want the flip out screen, it is a little bit harder to find the Canon T7i, and I have a hard time making sure I get that straight. It's the Canon EOS Rebel T7i. So if you do want the Canon Rebel EOS T7i, the one with the flip out screen, you are likely going to have to buy it used. But there is a link down in the description box below. You can get this for about the same price as the a new Canon T7. So buying it used off of that website, about the same cost as buying it new for the non-flip out screen version on Amazon. So keep that in mind while I'm talking about this camera. Some people like the flip out screen. I'm looking at the flip out screen now on my other camera. It's just nice to check that I'm in frame and whatnot, but maybe you don't need that. Maybe you're working behind the scenes, or maybe you're just kind of a set it and forget it, and you're not walking around vlogging kind of thing. So keep that in mind when looking at the Canon T7 series. So if you're just using this for social media, whether that's Instagram, TikTok, doing reels, verticals like that, YouTube shorts, YouTube horizontals for that instance, chances are you really don't need 4K. 4K, I've kind of found, is the shiny object syndrome that everybody's chasing. Yes, it is kind of nice to be able to crop in every now and then. Unless you're doing like significant zoom ins, like if you want to zoom in like on this energy drink right here, chances are you're not going to utilize 4K to the most of its abilities. And the 1080p that this camera produces will be more enough to crop in those slight YouTuber cuts that you're going to want to see, because quite frankly, 4K, it's a lot. 4K is a significant file size, and if you're new to social media, or you're only using this for social media, you aren't using this for quality. I say quality, that's not really fair. If you're not using this for professional deliverables, like you're actually getting paid thousands of dollars to produce videos, chances are you don't need 4K. And in that regards, chances are you don't have a you don't have a computer that can handle those kind of file sizes. 4K is huge file sizes. They are a beast to edit. They are tedious to edit unless you have a super, super awesome editing machine for a computer. You're going to struggle to edit those 4K files, and it's going to take a long time to render. It's going to take a long time to export. So sticking with 1080p, I think for social media is more than enough, especially if you're shooting like this vertically. And let's talk about frame rate for a second, right? Because this version, the Canon T7i, does shoot in 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second, if you're shooting in 24 or 30 frames per second, allows you to slow it down at least half or a little bit more than 50%, which is great for B-roll. Now, I don't use this camera for B-roll. I tend to use my iPhone just because it's a lot easier to handheld. I don't have a gimbal for this. It's a little bit steadier. I have a gimbal for my iPhone, but I digress. I don't really use slow motion that much. Maybe in product shots every now and then, and I'll put it on screen just to show the difference between here is what it is in normal 24 frames per second, which I typically film in, and then here it is slowed down using the 60 frames per second. And then finally here it is slowed down 120 frames per second. I'll let you be the judge. I personally don't think social media, particularly Instagram, TikTok, I've been saying that a lot, uses slow motion much, but you do have a phone. I imagine you do have a modern-ish phone of the last maybe 5 years. The phone technology for slow motion is a little bit better than the slow motion versions of these cameras. But adding those additional features really do drive up the cost. And having this be under still $600, which saves a lot of money for good lenses, which we'll talk about here in a second, really does make a world of difference when it comes to budget-friendly cameras that perform really well. Because you really have to ask yourself, what kind of channel are you going to be? Are you going to be like a tech channel where you talk about camera gear? Then maybe, something that's more modern and has all the features is something that you want to have, because you're going to be talking about it on your channel. But if you're just doing a daily vlog, cooking channel, gaming channel where you only have your face, or even like a talking head music channel. I use this camera on my guitar channel and it's been great for the past 7 years. So you really have to decide, what is the theme of my channel going to be, or my social media page, and is it really tech centric or not? So actually this is the Canon T7i. I've been actually filming on this one, so that's why I've been holding up the 6Ti. But as you can tell from this image, I personally think it looks fantastic, even filming on a camera body that is, 12, 13 years old, with the Canon T6i. It really has to do with the glass that you're using, and in this case, the Sigma glass is truly fantastic and makes a great quality image, especially for things like YouTube and Instagram, social media and stuff. So let's switch back over to the Canon T7i. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because the 6Ti has a record limit with a gigabyte size file. So this one can record a lot longer. So that's why I'm switching back over to this one. All right, so I just switched camera lenses real quick to talk about this. This is the Sigma 18 to 35 EF lens, and I believe it is a f1.8. This is the lens that is literally elevating my shots when it comes to using the Canon T7i. It is a little bit more pricey because it is some heavy glass compared to the EFS lenses that are kind of like the kit lenses, or the standard crop sensor lenses that the Canon Rebel series is used with. But this is a full frame EF lens and it is fantastic. And the reason why I still suggest the Canon T7i is because it uses this EF mount. Now Canon has since switched to the RF mount, which is for their new R body series lenses. They are great lenses, don't get me wrong. They are fantastic, but they are super expensive. So at time of recording this on Amazon, June 2025, this is about $800. So it is significantly pricey, but if you wanted a RF mount for the new lens, or even the Sony version, you're going to pay about $2,000 for this quality of lens. It's 1.8. You can get super low light capabilities. You saw I had to crank up the ISO on this EFS lens. But if you go over to K.com, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, you can get this for about $435. $416. There's one left for $416 as time of recording this. There's an affiliate link down in the description box below. No extra cost to you, but it does help support this channel. So keep that in mind. You can kind of see the quality difference of glass. This is the standard stock, I think 24 millimeter EFS lens, and then I'm going to put this back to the Sigma glass, and you can really tell the difference here, and you can really tell the quality of glass here, and see how great the camera body truly is. All right, so this is back on the 18 to 35 Sigma lens. I had to drop down the ISO back to 200, cranked it up to 800 for that EFS lens, which is this little macro lens that we have here. It's just a cute little guy that I had laying around that I wanted to shoot with. So as you can tell, the camera quality is fantastic, because let's be real here, cameras are literally just absorbing light and negative light and producing an image. So when it really comes to finding a good crisp image, the lenses matter more, the lights matter more. And speaking of lights, I'm only using these like newer soft boxes. I'll put a link in the description box below. Super cheap. I've had these for 7 years as well, making hundreds of YouTube videos and social media posts with these lights and this camera body. And I don't see myself switching anytime soon. Maybe getting some upgraded glass. I do want to check out the 24 to 770 millimeter lens, but with this camera body, it's doing everything and anything that I could ever want it to do here in 2025. So should you get the Canon T7 or Canon T7i, I think absolutely. If you want a great camera that is budget friendly, but also can be modified, not modified, but can be paired with great Sigma glass that has been standing the test of time for the past 10, 15 years, you definitely want to check out this camera because you will not be disappointed with how it will elevate your social media game, whether that's here on YouTube, on Instagram, or on TikTok. With that said, you do need significant amount of glass. So I made this video over here that talks about all the great lenses that I have paired with the Canon T7i. So I'll see you over in that video. Until next time, peace.